Hello. Yes, so I just wanted to share a little bit of the word today and talk about things that, matter. Like, for instance, God changed the world and He started it with 12 people. 12 people. 12 broken, messy people. You can't deny it. The disciples were a mess. Murderers and fishermen and you name it. They were it. And God used them in a miraculous way to reach millions of people. So when I talk about that, He uses us in spite of ourselves. Don't you think? Like, I know that my life was a mess. I was an alcoholic and I had been married 5 times. And it says in the Bible in John 4 that He spoke to the woman at the well and He said, "Now go call your husband." And she said, "I have no husband." And He said, "You've said, well, you have no husband. And the man you're with is not your husband." That's what Jesus told her. He read her mail. He read mine. He knew what kind of life and what kind of mess I was in before He ever called me to be who He's called me to be, which is just someone who shares love and His word with other people. And so when you start thinking about the disciples and then think about other people in the Bible, like Rahab, why would He use her? How about Elijah, who was suicidal? How about that? How about how about Job, who was bankrupt? And Gideon, who was afraid? And Noah, who was a drunk? I mean, you just got to think about Moses, who had speech problems, and Joseph, who was abused, and Abraham, who was old. But yet God used them all. Are you feeling worthy? Do you feel like you're not worthy? Because that's a lie from the pit of hell if you think you're not. God can use you right where you are. Maybe you're like, well, I don't want to be used. I want to know Him, but I don't want to be used. Well, if you know Him, you want to be used. If you know Him, He's, once He heals you, you want to tell somebody else about it. Romans 8:28 says that all things work together for the good for those who serve Him in His righteousness. We need to tell others. Jesus used a bunch of broken, flawed people who had been called, right? Listen, no matter what you have been through in life, remember the same power that raised Jesus from the dead is living inside of you, right here. He lives inside of you, and He raised Jesus from the dead. He raises you from the dead. Like, until the time that we invite Him into our heart, we're dead. We're dead. Now we're dead because we've died to us, and to die to us is gain. To live to Him. You are worthy, and you have been made worthy. There's nothing better if you want to know the truth. Listen, I lived a life where I went man to man to man trying to find love in all the wrong places. And it wasn't until this one came to live inside of me to show me His love so that I could then love others with the very same love that I've received. That's 2 Corinthians 1 and 3. 1 1 through 3 and 4, to love others with the very same love that we have been loved with. Comfort others with the very same comfort that we have been comforted with. People need love, and people need comfort, and people need Jesus. Share Jesus. Share him with everyone, because that is the one thing that we were put here to do, that we can get right. Everything else fails in comparison. So you're a mess, and God saves you, and you tell others. You don't have to be a mess anymore. Right? Love you. Love someone else.